Okay, hello everybody, and welcome to Daily with Doc. My name is Becca Dukes, and as the hostess of this program, I would like to personally invite you to join us live here in our Zoom room. Yes, we are live streaming, but folks, there's a lot of benefits to being here live with us. One of them being the chat, being able to see the information that's being shared in the chat. We have an amazing person who is fantastic, or more than one, actually. They are fantastic at transcribing what is being said. And if somebody could turn that dinger off, that would be fantastic. Um, that way it's easy, because I know sometimes the guests on this, or yeah, the main guy on this talks a little fast. So they are able to type fast and get that information into the chat and share it with you, so you can then take screenshots of what is being recommended and take that to the person that shared this program with you. Now, we are a resource for an amazing group of individuals and businesses who have a passion to help people find a better health journey. Now, sometimes people are on a great health journey, not knowing that there's a better health journey, and they want to maintain that great health journey. Other times, we have a lot of people that are just tired of being failed by a system and having to take more and more pills that are not addressing any solutions other than covering up the symptoms. And that's what we are going to be talking about today. Now, this program is being sponsored by DailyWithDoc.com. That is a website that offers the replays for this program. It also offers a good foods, bad foods list to help you make better food choices. And yes, there are some pyramids out there that show you what you should and should not be taking and how much of each and every one. And on this program, yeah, it's that pyramid is wrong, absolutely wrong. And you're going to learn more about that as well. So if you were invited by somebody specific, make sure that you get back with them and let them know that you're on, and let us know that you're on, depending on where, or no matter where you are joining us from. We are being heard around the world, and we want to know where it is that we are reaching. So in that comment or chat, make sure that you just say hello, and then from the state or country that you are tuning in from. Now, for those of you who love to share information, I love to give thank yous. So go to DWDgiveaway.com, register for our thank you program, and as you share, you will be receiving points. And those with the most points will be receiving a thank you gift from me. And I usually do more than one or two. So folks, share, because your opportunity is greatly increased as I see more people sharing. I love to give more away as well. So without further ado, I would like to welcome the one and only Dr. Joel Wallach, who has taken the time and done the research, not knowing how great his research was going to make an impact, not just on the animal world, but also in our human world as well, not just our physical beings, but also environmental. Dr. Joel Wallach started out as a student working his way through college in a pathology lab, where he was looking at things really deep, folks, taking slides, checking out, what was on that slide, finding out, okay, what does this pattern, what is this pattern, what is this cell, what does this cell look like, what does a bacteria look like, what does a virus look like, what do prions look like that don't exist. There's just so much that he has done, and he still holds it in his brain at 84 years old. So I'm excited to be able to share him with you. because he is also the one who found the first non-human case of cystic fibrosis, and not only found the first non-human case of cystic fibrosis, he proved, one, that it's not just a human disease, but it's also not a genetic condition, folks. And from that, he's done the same with muscular dystrophy and Parkinson's and multiple sclerosis. I mean, there's so many things that he has dug deep in, and with over 30,000 autopsies that he has reviewed, over 20,000 that he himself participated in the autopsy on over 452 species, it does give him a little credibility as to what he's knowing what he's looking at. And two, when you take those slides and you look at blood work and tissue and doing all this analysis and connecting those dots, he found a lot of information that was then published in what is held in the Smithsonian Museum as a national treasure, a book called Diseases of Exotic Animals. Now, we humans may not be able to afford that book, nor does like reading about animals interest us. He has taken a summary of that information and incorporated also the human autopsies that he's done into a book called Epigenetics. If I could get Dr. Wallach on the screen with me right now, that would be absolutely fantastic, because this is one of my favorite pictures. And this was my second book of hope, Dr. Wallach. Of course, the Bible being first. But I had more than one or two conditions that I was told were genetic, and I would just have to live with the rest of my life. And I was pushed off to pain management. But this book right here, Doc, shared with me that the things that I was experiencing were not genetic. The connective tissue issues that I was having in my feet, in my hands, the ringing that was in my ears, they weren't genetic, and there was something that I could do about it. So, Doc, let's talk about symptoms, solutions, and that referred pain or referred response that happens within the body. And welcome to Daily with Doc.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Rebecca. That's a very kind introduction. And of course, it's actually all quite true. And we were looking at some things today that are going to be on Daily with Doc tomorrow. It's going to blow people's mind today, but it's going to blow your mind 1,600 times tomorrow. So be sure you watch tomorrow as well as today. Now, basically, we were given the good gifts of the good Lord of a life that we're supposed to live well beyond 100. We're supposed to live well beyond 100 in a healthful, functional way. And of course, all kinds of enterprises and inventions, everything from burning coal as fuel, just something that simple can interfere with these things, okay? So we have 24 books now, including the flip chart. You want to particularly read pages 26 and 27, goes into about 40 different diseases that are caused by a loss of the white matter of the brain, demyelinization of the brain, including Parkinson's disease, which right now, the news came out just a couple of weeks ago that there's 90,000 new cases of Parkinson's disease each year now in America. 90,000 new cases of Parkinson's disease each year in America. I mean, come on. This is the modern days. How do we have that? Okay. So I want you to read page 26 and 27 of the flip chart, 90 for Life Crusade to Save Humanity in the World. Now, what I want to talk about briefly today before we get to the Q&A, which is everybody's fun, including I like the questions and answers, is It's All in Your Head. And it's a book CD set. The CD is entitled, let's see here, It's All in Your Head, just like the book, How to Prevent, Fix, and osteoporosis of the skull and multiple sclerosis. Now, why is osteoporosis of the skull important? Well, there's 12 pairs of cranial nerves that come out of it. 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then the spinal cord. And there's about, I don't know, at least 50 different diseases you can get. Okay. And of course, you're not going to get them all at the same time. You might get 3, you might get 5, you may get 20. But these are all preventable and all reversible. Okay. So this book, okay, it's all in your head. We've sold out here, but the new batch is going to be here next week. So you can go ahead and order today or tomorrow or first.
I've got it up, Doc.
Huh?
I've got it up. You don't have to hold it up.
Oh, you got it
That's
up.
my job.
Okay, good. Thank you. All right. So I just briefly, before we get into some details here, I do want to talk about some of the diseases that are caused by osteoporosis of the skull. And Matt, can you open up to page 6, please? Doctors know nothing about this. Yeah. Doctors know literally nothing about this. This is Roman numeral number 6 in the front of the book. The top picture that Rebecca is pointing with her finger, the skull, the top of the skull has been removed. The picture is being taken up from above, looking down on the brain. You'll notice that the skull is only a quarter of an inch thick. The bottom picture is also a human skull. They've removed the skull, looking down on the brain, straight from above. But the skull, instead of being a quarter of an inch thick, it's 1.5 inches to 2 inches thick. Okay, so you can see where the tunnels that the 12 pairs of cranial nerves and the tunnel that the spinal cord are going through has been reduced by at least 75, 80, 90%, or sometimes completely blocked. Okay, which causes all kinds of symptoms. So I'm just going to read you maybe a couple of sentences from each one of those cranial nerves. Okay, and so bear with me. Each cranial nerve is a chapter in this book. Each cranial nerve is a chapter in this book. Okay, because it was, what should I say, it was worth the space. Okay, chapter 2, cranial nerve number 1, the olfactory nerve. The olfactory nerve originates in the nasal mucosal area, okay, and travels through the cribriform plate, which is that little thing that looks like it's been shot with a shotgun full of holes, okay, the ethmoid nose to the olfactory lobe of the brain to produce the sense of smell. Osteoporosis of the skull will reduce the caliber of these tunnels, resulting in the reduction of or the elimination of your sense of smell. So that's a clue. Doctors know nothing about this, and that's why we wrote the book, because they were missing it. I never saw anything like these in doctors' reports, but I'm seeing it on the autopsy table all the time. Okay, cranial nerve number 2, the optic nerve, very important here. The optic nerve is a sensory nerve that deals with vision. Okay, light enters the eye and comes into contact with the rods and the cones, the sensory receptors on the retina of the eye. Rods tend to be involved with black and white vision, night vision, while the cones are primarily involved with color vision. Retinal cells combine to form the optic nerve at the junction of the chiasma, which is where the two optic nerves join. Okay, when the optic nerve is getting squished, okay, you slowly lose your vision. Okay, osteoporosis skull causes a reduction in vision. Okay, cranial nerve number 3, oculomotor nerve. The oculomotor nerve controls the motor function, okay, of 4 of the 6 eye muscles. It's sensitive to light, okay, which produces a pupil response. It controls the pupil to either shrink or dilate. This nerve travels through the eye via the superior orbital fissure, okay, activates the eye muscles. Cranial nerve number 4, trochlear nerve. The trochlear nerve is a motor nerve that travels through the superior orbital fissure. This nerve innervates the somatomotor muscle and the superior oblique muscle that controls the superior oblique muscle, which controls the downward, outward, and inward motion of the eye. Cranial nerve number 5, trigeminal nerve. The trigeminal nerve is the largest, the biggest diameter of the cranial nerves. It possesses both sensory and motor functions. The trigeminal nerve has three divisions. Division number one, ophthalmic. It collects and forwards sensory information from the upper part of the face, including the forehead, scalp, and the upper eyelids. Number two, maxillary branch communicates sensory information from the middle part of the face, including the cheeks, upper lip, and nasal passages. Okay, the mandibular branch, number three, this segment has both sensory and motor functions. It collects and forwards the sensory information from the ears, lower lip, and chin. It also has motor functions, okay, that control the jaw and the ear. Okay, cranial nerve number six, abducens nerve. The cranial nerve, this cranial nerve, the abducens nerve, controls the muscles that is associated with eye movement. This muscle, the lateral rectus, is involved with outward motion of the eye, okay, which allows the looking sideways. This nerve originates in the pons region of the brain stem, which then enters the eye socket. It controls the lateral rectus muscle. When squeezed, it travels through the superior orbital fissure and produces eye palsy, where the eyes cross. So when you have eyes that are crossed, it's the cranial nerve number six being squeezed by osteoporosis of the skull. Even if you're only 4 years old, okay? Babies are born with osteoporosis of the skull. It's not an aging thing, it's a nutritional deficiency thing. Okay, cranial nerve number seven, the facial nerve. The facial nerve provides both sensory and motor functions, including muscles of the facial expression, muscles of the jaw. Sensory portions of the nerves are involved in the sense of taste for most of the tongue, and supporting for the glands of the head, including salivary glands and that kind of stuff, and the neck, including salivary glands there, tear production, okay? The facial nerve originates in the pons area of the brain, okay, of the brain stem, okay? Not the spinal cord, but the brain stem, where it has both motor and sensory functions. The facial nerve, very important. Okay, cranial nerve number eight, vestibulocochlear nerve. Vestibulocochlear nerve provides sensory functions involving hearing and balance. So if you have tinnitus in your ears, you have a balance problem, that's your eighth cranial nerve being squeezed by osteoporosis of the skull, okay? Okay, and the cochlear branch contains specialized cells employed to detect vibration, sound based on loudness and pitch, which produce nerve impulses that are transmitted to the cochlear nerve. The vestibular branch tracks linear and rotational movement of the head. This data is transmitted to the vestibular nerve and is employed to adjust and compensate for balance problems, equilibrium, and tremors. Cranial nerve number nine, glossopharyngeal nerve. Okay, the glossopharyngeal nerve has both motor and sensory functions. This nerve sends sensory information from the sinuses, back of the throat, and the inner ear, and posterior region of the tongue. It records a sense of taste, okay, from the rear of the tongue. Through its motor branches, it provides voluntary movement, so you can stick your tongue out if you want, okay? You can swallow when you want to. The ninth cranial nerve, okay, the glossopharyngeal nerve, the ninth cranial nerve travels through the jugular foramen to innervate the pharynx, your throat and voice box and so forth. Okay, cranial nerve number 10, vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is the longest nerve, okay, the longest cranial nerve. It passes from the skull all the way down to your little toe, okay? It passes through the jugular foramen and possesses both sensory and motor functions. It has dozens and dozens of things that happen, sensory and motor. So I'm not going to go into all of them, but some of the big ones, okay? Vagus nerve sends sensory information to the brain from the organs of the chest, heart, and lungs, the belly, stomach, intestine. The vagus nerve also sends motor functions to the throat, the chest, including recurrent branch to the diaphragm and belly. And that's only a small piece of what the vagus nerve does. Very important nerve. Cranial nerve number 12, accessory nerve. The accessory nerve is a motor nerve that controls muscles of the neck and shoulders. Okay, so if you're having difficulty in raising your arms and turning your head, it could be the skull squeezing, the 11th cranial nerve, the accessory nerve. Okay. The final cranial nerve we're going to talk about, cranial nerve number 12, the hypoglossal nerve, is involved with the motor function of the tongue. It originates in the medulla oblongata, in the brain, then travels to the jaw and tongue. The hypoglossal nerve travels through the hypoglossal canal and provides motor innervation for all of the tongue muscles except for the palate glossus. Okay, so anyway, I just wanted you to hear those things. Those are just very brief discussions. There's more details on each chapter here. Well, one more. Let's look at the spinal cord here. Okay, why don't you show them the spinal cord? Okay, page, was it 22 or 23 or, yeah, 22. This is spinal cord. You look at that. The spinal cord is formed in the brain, goes all the way down, splits at the beginning of your pelvis, and then each branch goes down into your little toes. So when you have things going on in your toes, the doctors want to amputate your toes and do this to your foot and all this, that, and the other. The odds are something going on in your skull. Okay. And when your toes are tingling and stuff like that, it's kind of like tinnitus or ringing in your ears. Same principle. But look at all the things that the spinal cord comes in contact with: your lungs, your heart, your liver, your stomach, your intestines, your kidneys, okay, your muscles, and all your four limbs and so forth. This is very, very important information, okay? And of course, for doing this, we got the Lifetime Achievement Award on Natural Medicine and Philanthropy, the third annual Global Officials of Dignity Award in the United Nations. We're very, very proud of that. Okay, so I'm just sharing that with you so you know when we talk about this, this is something, if you're going to take supplements for yourself and your family, if you're going to do this or not even not do it as a business, you need this book. And again, we've sold out, but we've already got the order in. It's published, it's being shipped. We'll have them either Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday next week, so you can put your orders in. Everybody should have at least one of these. It's on your head books. And the CD is primarily on the spinal cord, because I didn't feel we had enough information on the spinal cord. So we have the CD to cover the entire spinal cord piece. Okay. So with that, I want to remind everybody that we are here to help you. And of course, there's, what should I say, the neurological associated diseases on pages 26 and 27. It'll blow your mind. Remember, the medical community just came out just a couple of weeks ago and said Parkinson's disease is now one of the biggest neurological diseases ever. We have 90,000 new diagnoses each year in America, 90,000 new cases in America each year. Okay, that's on top of the 50, 60,000 we've had every year for hundreds of years. Okay.
So it has greatly increased. And you see it in the news. Just recently, there's been a couple people that have passed away that were actors, actresses that are or were affected, and they're saying that their cause of death are some of these conditions that Dr. Wallach, or the symptoms that Dr. Wallach has just spoken of. With each of the cranial nerves, the vagus nerve, the spinal cord, all having controls over different parts of the body. Now, Dr. Wallach, if you could move that book on top there to your left a bit, that would be great. Okay. But Dr. Wallach,
I do want to read one more thing. Did that help you any?
Well, I'm not done with what I was going to point out. To our question, because something that's going on that I'm getting phone calls all the time about are people that their doctors have gone in and they either have recommended or they've already done a procedure that burns the nerve endings. So what is the you burn a nerve ending, I mean, aren't we supposed to have those nerves going to the different areas so that if something happens, we can feel it and not continue? What are
Yes.
your thoughts on that?
Okay, well, here's what happens here, Becca. The medical system, going back to the turn of the 20th century, 1900, when
Okay.
everybody's using electricity at that point. Electricity had been around for about 20 years. Just about everybody knew about electricity. And they had lost their source of minerals because
Mm-hmm.
minerals make up of the 90 essential nutrients, 60. Okay. 2/3 of the 90 essential nutrients are minerals. Okay. So where were they getting them for the previous 2,000 years? From wood ashes and coal ashes. They were taking the wood ashes and coal ashes and putting them in their food as a spice or putting them in their garden as a fertilizer. But 1883, electricity came along and people began to shift over to electricity instead of wood and coal because they were tired of the carbon and mess and all that kind of stuff. And by 1900, just about everybody on Earth had access to electricity, and everybody had given up wood and coal as fuel. So they lost their source of minerals that they had, those 60 essential minerals,
Mm-hmm.
for 2,000 to 3,000 years. Okay, suddenly it went away. And doctors didn't know enough to say, well, you have to supplement with minerals now because you're not putting wood ashes and coal ashes in your gardens in your food anymore. They never said that. Oh, just eat well. Everybody's probably heard that. Oh, just eat well, you get everything you need. Now, the goal of a doctor, now sit down, okay? The goal of a doctor is to have you stop complaining about symptoms.
Really?
That's the doctor's goal because he knows if he can help you eliminate your symptoms in 2 or 3 days or a week that you've had, say, for a couple of years or 10 years or whatever, you're going to tell other people, you're going to keep coming to him to get your prescription refilled because you want to get rid of those symptoms. And so, oh, just eat well, you get everything you need. Well, why is he saying eat well? Because you're going to keep getting the same problems. Just eat well is what they say. And you don't have to worry about taking, oh, don't waste your money on vitamins and minerals, just eat well, you get everything you need. If you have a problem, I'll give you something that'll help you get rid of your symptoms. Okay, now this is really, to me, what should I say, a criminal approach because we know the answers. We know the cause, prevention, and cure of these diseases. And of course, when you're just turning off your ability to sense the pain or the tremors or whatever is the symptom of that disease, and then you go back to the doctor every month or every 3 months to get your prescription refilled, or even sometimes you don't even have to go in, you just call in and they refill your prescription. The doctor's happy because he has enough money coming in to pay for his kid to go to college. You're happy because the symptoms went away. And then 2 years later, you die. Well, why'd you die? You were taking the supplements, and not the supplements. You were taking the medicine. You're taking the medicine to relieve the symptom, not to eliminate the problem. Okay, so that's we have this terrible, terrible thing. This is why we came up with rare earth forbidden cures, epigenetics. There you go. There's so many things in there about all the mineral deficiencies and vitamin deficiencies and nutritional deficiencies that cause disease. Epigenetics. I'm very proud to be considered one of the co-founders of the science of epigenetics, which replaces genetics. There are no genetically transmitted diseases, none. When doctors don't know what you got, they say, well, it's probably a genetic thing. Anybody in your family have it? Yeah, all my brothers and sisters have it. Well, there you go. Where they live? Well, they just live in the same county as I do. They all eat the same way. Well, that's why they all have the same deficiencies. Okay.
And then,
So,
Dr. Wallach, so there's also the point of even those that don't live in the same area, and let's say twins, they can be in totally different areas
mhm.
and they start out with the same symptoms and conditions. But then as they grow older and go their own ways, one may keep those symptoms or conditions and get worse, or um, the other one may not have any of those things happening to them. And that
But
just
something
goes to
else comes
prove,
along. But something else will come along.
possibly,
If they're
unless
not
that's
supplementing, I'll guarantee it. If they're not supplementing, something is going to come along as whether it's a tremor, whether it's this itchy skin, constipation, bleeding gums when you brush your teeth. Oh, I had to have dentures put in because my teeth were all loose. All that stuff. That's not genetic. Okay, those are all nutritional deficiency diseases. When you have trouble with your teeth, that means you have osteoporosis of your jawbone and your facial bones. And the dentist says, "Oh, let's just pull all your teeth, put in dentures. You won't have to worry about it anymore." Okay, thanks. I'm tired of dealing with this. Yeah, pull them all out and give me dentures. Well, that's because you had a nutritional deficiency, multiple nutritional deficiencies. You had mineral deficiency, you had vitamin D3 deficiency, and all that kind of stuff. Okay, well, I never had time to go sit out in the sun anymore as an adult. I was so busy at my job. Well, that's what supplements are for.
I still like the sun though, Doc.
Well, yeah. But if you're at work, you have 5 kids to feed, and your work time is during the day and you cannot get out in the sun, then you better be taking the supplements.
Now, you had mentioned wood ash. Why would wood ash, or how does wood ash have minerals in it?
Okay, wood ashes are the ash when you burn wood, trees and bushes and stuff like that, or even spoiled food. You burn that. There's some minerals in the food. It's in the ashes, and that's why 2,000-3,000 years ago they didn't know why, but they knew when you put ashes into the gardens, okay, the food grew more yield. They got bigger potatoes, more corn, and all that kind of stuff. So they knew there was something in the wood ashes and coal ashes that gave you more food, okay? Because the plants needed those minerals that were in the wood ashes and coal ashes. Now, I do want to divert just a little second here because you talked about these diseases, okay, earlier on, and of course, one of them, ALS, amyotrophic sclerosis, it's one of the diseases. You lose the myelin, the white matter of the brain. The Star Trek star, okay, Kenneth Mitchell had ALS for 5.5 years, was treated by the top doctors in America, maybe even the world, on on ALS, and he just died this last Saturday, okay, not quite a week ago, 5 days ago. He died at age 49 after 5.5 years of treatment, okay. Mm-hmm. And so how can, a famous entertainment star, okay, from Star Trek of all things, he dies after 5.5 years of treatment by the top medical doctors for ALS, and he dies. Okay, well, you want to get the flip chart and look at page 26 and 27, and we actually have Madeline, okay, a lady for 11 years had Parkinson's disease, getting worse and worse and worse for 11 years. We got her on our program, and in 2.5 months, she was free of Parkinson's disease. And there's letters from doctors on page 27 on the left-hand side of the page, going in there and telling how they had used the nutrients. They didn't go into detail.
So you gave a recommendation
Yes.
as to what she could take with her symptoms, and she got on a program, and then on that 12th year, when they did her her physical, what they do, they check all the different things that are going on. They said there were no signs of Parkinsonism, and then she was able to stop the medication that they had put her on for it.
For 11 years, she was on the medication.
And it took 2.5 months.
Yes.
That's kind of crazy, Dr. Wallach, that something that appears to be so complex, like there's so many different symptoms that go with each and every disease, to take something that's so complex, put you on a nutritional program, and then those conditions, those symptoms, diminish or are no longer.
That's correct.
Now, I do have to say that the statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. We do not make any claims regarding health. And as an empowered individual, folks, you have options available. We're honored to have Dr. Wallach with us. And the products that are mentioned, they themselves do not treat or cure or prevent anything, but the nutrients within them, there's tons, thousands, even hundreds of thousands of published documentation on PubMed.gov on the nutrients that are used within these products. Now, they've been formulated to have the right ratios that Dr. Wallach found in all of his research, so that those key nutrients have those cofactors needed for that key nutrient to do what it's supposed to do, where it's supposed to do it within the body. Dr. Wallach?
Yeah, thank you. Beautiful, beautiful summary. Thank you. I want to add something here. I want to remind people that Parkinson's disease was first recognized 500 BC. Is that correct?
So,
We've looked that up, 500 BC. Parkinson's, it wasn't Parkinson's disease, it was just all the symptoms of Parkinson's disease, 500 BC. Then at 1817, is that correct? James Parkinson, a medical doctor from England.
I think that's right.
They named the tremors after him, Parkinson's disease. Okay. And guess what? We're the ones who got rid of it. We came up with what it was caused by. It was a nutritional deficiency. And we came up with our I-26. We came up with the 90 essential nutrients. We came up with getting rid of the bad foods. And suddenly now, Parkinson's disease, even though the medical system is saying, hey, we're seeing 90,000 new cases of Parkinson's disease added on to the Parkinson's community every year now. 90,000 this year, 90,000 next year, 2 years from now, another 90,000. Okay, that's 270,000. Okay, Parkinson's disease in just 3 years. Okay, well, we can prevent it and we can reverse it. Okay, because we know what causes it. And so I'm very, very proud of this. And it's one of those things, the sort of thing we do. And tomorrow on Daily with Doc, I want everybody to watch that, because tomorrow we are going to see on Daily with Doc how I was able to come to these conclusions. What made my training different? What made my training different? This is going to be on, okay, tomorrow.
So we may not have a live Daily with Doc tomorrow. So we had some scheduling conflicts and may not be able to do that. But we will definitely be live or streaming rather to our YouTube channel, our Rumble channel, our Facebook channels, so that you don't miss out on this important information and interview that was done with Dr. Wallach just a few years ago. Now I'm talking 5 years ago. Okay. So it's not like decades, but he had so much information that he shares in this video. We wanted to make sure that each and every one heard it. So we just want to thank those that recorded this with the Wallach Warriors in Michigan back on that great day, that great weekend, where they were able to bring people together and share Dr. Wallach's message in a live presentation. Now, we do live, and the nice thing about our live is we're reaching around the world, folks. And in order for this message to be heard by more and more people so that they could benefit from the information as well, we invite you to share. So share our YouTube channels. You can go to criticalhealthnews.com, or sorry, no. Critical Health News channel on YouTube. And you can also look for Critical Health News on Rumble or on Brighteon also. Look for I think it's Daily with Doc on Bradion, and many other places. So even if you just do search for Daily with Doc, you will find us, and make sure that it is not in the sponsored ones, because we may not be one of those sponsored first things that come up. Joy of technology and using of keywords to come up and pay for people to click. Well, for folks, we like to do this organic and make sure that we are really reaching people and that they find us. And we want to invite you to help us do that. We have lots of questions, Dr. Wallach, and I just kind of rumble.
I have one statement I want to make. This presentation tomorrow is going to start at 12 noon Pacific time.
That's right. 12 Pacific.
12 Pacific time tomorrow.
Okay. Yep. All right.
And that way everybody gets to start at the beginning. It's going to blow your mind. It will blow your mind when you see the material we're going to present.
Yeah. And just as a reminder, we're also on Apple TV and Roku, and also, are we on Fire TV yet, AJ? Almost. So we should be shortly on the Fire TV. They had one or two more things that they wanted to add in those hoops to get on. So Dr. Wallach, yes, let's go to AJ, and AJ has an 8-part question for you.
Okay.
Hey, Dr. Wallach.
Yes, sir. How can we help you?
Sorry, we're just going to kind of rapid fire through this, and I'm going to ask the easy ones first. What do you think about synthetic vitamin D? Beth Ann's got a series of questions for her and her loved ones.
Okay. Well, if you're trapped in a place where you can't get out in the sun, then your only hope is to take either natural vitamin D out of dairy products and or synthetic products. Synthetic vitamin D, of course, that's the vitamin D that's in supplements and so forth, and it works. I mean, I'm inside most of the day. I get out in the sun 2 or 3 hours a week or something like that. It's not a whole lot, but it's one of those things where I'm taking supplements. It blows people's mind when they come and they see my desk. All the supplements I take twice a day. They say, you can take it. Okay. Okay.
I'm right behind you.
Yeah.
Okay. And then another question is, Beth Ann had her myelin sheath eroded after recovering from Lyme disease. Is there something that we can do to help her regrow her myelin?
Okay. The Brain and Heart Pack, get rid of all the bad stuff, and the I-26. How much does she weigh?
You know, I should have written that down, Doc.
That's right. Per 100 pounds of body weight, take 3 of these twice a day. I like the chewables. I like the French vanilla. They also come in banana coconut chewables. I know that's Becca's favorite, I think. Okay.
No. Powder is my favorite, Dr. Wallach.
Okay, so we have the powder and we also have the capsules. Okay. But I like the French vanilla. I take 2 or 3 of these twice a day. And it keeps the myelin sheath in your brain, your spinal cord, and your big nerves, including the vagus nerve, the 10th cranial nerve, and all that kind of stuff. Okay.
Now, she seems to be having some connective tissue issues. She's got a bump on the back of her neck. I forget the name that she described it as. And she also has dealing with the hiatal hernia. So a dowager's hump, it's called, I believe. She's wondering.
Okay, well, dowager's hump is kind of like in a woman where she's got osteoporosis, okay, and she's got osteoporosis of her vertebrae. She's got degeneration of the disc between the vertebrae, and so she's all kind of hunched over, okay, and this is called dowager's hump, okay. In men, it's called hunchback, like a hunchback of Notre Dame, okay, kind of thing. Okay, but it's just osteoporosis and also a lack of nutrition for the disc between the vertebrae and so forth. So they have a tremendous nutritional deficiency. They have osteoporosis of the skull, all kinds of stuff going on. And so when they have the Dodgers hump, they've got a lot of stuff going on, including osteoporosis of the skull. And you need to get this book in their hands so they can read through the book and the CD. Um, it's all in your head, because the spinal cord, you saw that picture of the spinal cord, it goes all the way down from the brain, all the way down to the toes. Okay. And so anything along the way can put pressure on it, including nutritional deficiencies. And so again, when when you've done as many autopsies as me, when you count from all the other nations that have done, 1,700 autopsies in this country, 20,000 autopsies in this country, 30,000 autopsies in this project in America, 20,000 autopsies in this project in America. You get information that's unimpeachable. It's repeatable information that gives you unimpeachable clues. Okay. They're all nutritional deficiencies. Okay. Now, obviously, you can get infections and things like that, but we're talking about nutritional deficiencies here that are usually either totally reversible, or at least, if you had something for 20 years, the odds are you're going to have to reverse it in 2 weeks. But although I've had some pretty good results in those kind of situations, but if you can relieve the symptoms of pain and itching and dizziness and ringing in the ears and exhaustion and stuff, problems with your lungs and your heart and your blood pressure and your bowels and all that kind of stuff, which can be caused by osteoporosis of the skull, okay, then it's one of those things where, why would you want to go to 14 different specialists and take 25 different prescription drugs, continue to get worse, but they will relieve some of your symptoms?
Well, she's also dealing with a hernia, and her husband's got bone spurs, dealing with his hip. Lack of connective tissue in his hip.
Yeah, none of this is genetic. This is all nutritional deficiencies. And again, this is where the books, the CDs, epigenetics, rare earth-bend cures, it's all in your head, the Wallach revolution. I mean, I could go down Hell's Kitchen. I could go down this whole list of 24 books, but don't forget the flip chart. To me, I just love this page 27 of the flip chart, because it's got these letters from these doctors. And Madeline, had Parkinson's disease for 11 years, and we got rid of it in 2.5 months. Okay. And the doctor's letters, okay, saying this is what was done and here's the results. And they're just, their mouth is open. They're in shock.
You are amazing, Doc. She mentions that her dog eats no gluten, but the dog is itching all the time. Is there something that can be done there?
Yeah. Is the dog eating dog food and table scraps or what?
Well, she's saying that her dog eats the best in the county. They're preparing cooked meals for the dog with no dog food. They don't eat gluten. Their house is gluten free.
Well, there's her problem. Okay, no matter how good you cook food for the dog, you're not going to get all the nutrition. If you can't get all the nutrition you need for a human, how are you going to get all the nutrition you need for a dog? And so this is where they need to get a good brand of dog food. If they want to give some of their stuff to the dog as kind of a treat, but they need a good brand of dog food, and dry dog food or canned dog food, whatever they want. But then also they need the Arthrodex. The Arthrodex is rich in minerals. And when it comes to mineral deficiencies of the skeleton, including the cartilage and ligaments and tendons and discs between the vertebrae and the ribs and joints and the very legs and so forth, you want to do all that. Okay, that's why we have those things, Arthrodex. Okay, and then of course put an ounce of plant minerals in the dog's drinking water per pint of drinking water. I mean, if you would look at the table of all the minerals that I take, let's see here. I know that I'm taking over 100 different minerals twice a day. I'm taking 100 different minerals twice a day. Now I'm 84 years old. Okay. In 5 more months, I'm going to be 85. And most people think I'm in my 50s when they look at me, my energy level and so forth. Okay. Not bad.
You
And
are
so,
amazing. You for sure are amazing. And then just the last one, because I know there's other people. They have a tiny nephew who has I guess it's the MTHR gene mutation, and he's having behavioral issues. The symptoms are behavioral issues and kind of autistic-like symptoms. What can we do
okay.
for this young kid?
Okay. There are no genetic diseases. Now I had that when I was 4 years old, and they were going to put me in an insane asylum. And I started eating the animal foods on the farm, and my problems went away in a couple of months. But I was really bad. I was a violent person when I was 5 years old, and was really, really disabled mentally and physically. And all the doctors wanted to do is give me injections once a week. And so I started eating the animal food because I say they don't have my problems. So I started eating the animal food, and in just a couple of weeks, I cured myself.
Well, Doc, I appreciate you spending all this time with me. There's tons of other people that want your help, and everybody loves you. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, sir. Appreciate every you are doing. You're an angel of God. Appreciate you.
All right. Thank you so much, AJ. And let's next go to Phyllis, Dr. Wallach. Phyllis, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hello, Dr. Wallach.
Nice.
Well, I also have several questions, so I'll kind of dash through them. Twion on Facebook wants to know how to advise a friend with epilepsy. And we don't know if it's a man or a woman, height and weight, maybe by per 100 pounds,
Okay.
what someone with epilepsy.
Okay. Now, obviously, there are pharmaceutical drugs that can control seizures, epilepsy. Okay. But also, epilepsy symptoms can be caused by nutritional deficiencies. So let's go by 100 pounds of body weight. This person with epilepsy needs to get rid of all the bad foods: no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, brown, rye, oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. The diet one's got to go. And then per 100 pounds of body weight, she needs 1 healthy brain and heart pack per month. She's going to need the, let's see here, I'd go with the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, 3 twice a day to get blood circulation into the brain, but also give her the I-26. If she only weighs 100 pounds, I'd have her take 3 of those twice a day. If she weighs 150 pounds, I'd have her take 3 times a day of the I-26. And so don't cold turkey off the medication, but as the symptoms begin to improve, she can begin to reduce the dosage of the prescription medication.
That's good to know. Moshta on YouTube is asking for we don't know man or woman. It's a 30-year-old, 135 pounds, who has gout in the big toes, and he wants to know about reducing the uric acid.
Okay. Well, again, it's possible it's osteoporosis of the skull, squeezing that 10th cranial nerve, causing swelling and itching and pain in the toes, and the doctor's misdiagnosing it, because when you have gout, you don't just get gout in your toes.
Because it's basically arthritis, right?
Well, it's a form of arthritis. It's caused by certain chemicals, okay, accumulating in the joints, okay? So get rid of all the bad stuff, okay? No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, brown, rye, oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. That one's got to go. And at 130 pounds gout, is that right?
Yes.
130 pounds gout needs to take the digestive enzymes. I take 3 of those, say 10 minutes before each meal and 10 minutes before bedtime. Okay, that's going to help there, the digestion, and very, very important. And then also don't forget Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, 3 of those twice a day. 130 pounds with gout, I would go with 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month to full dose everything twice a day. And for the pain and swelling in the toes, we have the CM cream. Put the CM cream on. Okay.
Love that CM cream.
Yes, and it will, and of course, put it on the toes, put it on the knees, put it on the hips, and I would also put it behind the ears, because it could be something going on in the skull. It could be osteoporosis of the skull causing the swelling and pain in the toes, and the doctor is thinking it's just a isolated gout in the toes.
Well, that's good to know.
Gout doesn't work that way.
In other words, more parts of the body would be affected.
That's correct.
All right, last question. Keb, K-E-B, on YouTube asks for a man age 69, 255 pounds. We don't have the height. Regarding arteriosclerosis with calcification.
Okay, so it's artery disease with calcification. Okay, again, get rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, brown, rye, oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet ones got to go because they interfere with absorption of minerals and digestion of food. Then needs the 2 healthy, I already said 2 healthy brain and heart packs. It also needs the I said Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, 3 of those. I go 3 twice a day. Okay. And that's going to help blood flow through blocked arteries. But getting rid of the bad foods is going to help the arteries heal themselves. I get people all the time where they have really, really bad trouble with arteriosclerosis of the arteries coming from the heart to the brain, from the heart to the lungs, from the heart to the kidneys. And it all goes away. I have to say, give me 90 days. Give me 90 days on what I'm prescribing to you. And you're going to see, if you follow the directions and use the products properly, you will see magic. Okay, because the body has an enormous capacity to heal, but you have to give it all the right stuff, and you have to get rid of the bad stuff. Okay, so this is easy stuff.
All right, Dr. Wallach, we have 2 more hands up. We've got 3 minutes, so let's go to Courtney. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Okay. Hi, Dr. Wallach.
We have to go quickly.
Okay, I have 2 just really quick questions. One is the family member I had that's on your products wanted to know, when is the best time to take OsteoFX?
Okay, well, OsteoFX, I take all of my liquids like 5 or 10 minutes before my meals.
Okay, and they can take it with the BTT?
Oh, yeah. And breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay.
Okay.
Take it with the BTT, okay. Absolutely.
Okay, and then the last question was, what is PEA? They were recommended from their local naturopath to get on PEA. Is that safe?
TEA?
Yes.
I don't know what TEA is.
P is in Paul, PEA. It's it's similar to an EFA. And anti-inflammatory. It's called P. The short of it is PEA.
Okay, so it's essential fatty acid.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. Well, essential fatty acids are required to prevent abnormal blood clotting, right? Also, the cell walls of every cell in your body requires essential fatty acids to let good things come into the cell, including oxygen, and bad stuff, including CO2, to get out of the cell. Okay, and so when we look at our Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, of the 210 nutrients in there, we have the EFAs. We have EFAs in there.
You do, correct. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we'll just maybe go with that. Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Okay, keep up the great work. You're an angel. Thank you.
Thanks, appreciate you. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Yes, she is. And real quick, so PEA, Dr. Wallach, they're saying is a natural substance in food that the body can use to reduce pain and inflammation. So it sounds like it is not related specifically to EFAs, so totally different from that. And seriously, I think it's a 25-letter word.
Okay, we need to look it up, and we need to look it up and see if it's a nutrient or it's a chemical or whatever it is. Okay.
Natural substance found in foods, and the body can reduce pain and inflammation. The
Mm.
body can use it to reduce pain and inflammation. So we'll get more information on that to you, Dr. Wallach, so you can read up, because I know that you're always looking at
Yep.
research and wanting to stay on top of stuff.
Thank
We
you.
have one more hand real quick, Doc, if you have a moment.
I have a moment.
All right, Tony, go ahead and unmute yourself, please.
Unmute. Hi, I'm talking for Tony because he has ALS. His speech isn't very good. He wants to know what he could take for ALS, what Dr. Wallach would suggest.
Okay, are you from Australia?
No, I'm from England, but I've been in
England.
Canada for 48 years.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. All right. ALS, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, is a disease of the myelin of the brain, the white matter of the brain and spinal cord. Okay. And I want you to get, and he needs to get one of our flip charts. Okay. 90 for life. Okay. Crusade to save humanity and the world. And page 26 and 27 will give him everything he needs to know about ALS. So let me tell you, in America alone, we spend, when it comes to ALS, let's see here, we spend here we go. We spend $1.2 billion every year, not million, but billion, $1.02 billion just to treat the symptoms of ALS. Wow. ALS is a demyelinating disease of the brain. The myelin of the brain and spinal cord is going away. Okay, because you're probably listening to a doctor who says don't use cholesterol. Okay, and so you're staying away from eggs and stuff like that. Okay, the brain is not going to function well without the myelin. And so this is why we came up with, and of course, I like the French vanilla. Okay, these are soft chewables. I take 2 or 3 of these 2-3 times a day. We also have the banana coconut soft chewables. We also have the capsules. We also have the powder. And so this will help regrow the spinal cord and the brain.
Wow.
And so we have so many, including this Madeline, you know, for 11 years, okay, she had Parkinson's disease for 11 years, getting worse and worse and worse and worse. We put her on our program, and in 2.5 months, she was cured. And the doctors wrote all these letters saying they can't believe it. They've never seen such a thing, blah, 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 blah. And they're quite amazed. And they actually wrote letters, you know, on their letterhead and sent them in. So I put them on the left-hand side of the page 27, and her story is on the right-hand side of the page. Okay.
Where am I looking for that information? Sorry.
Okay.
So that is in the flip chart.
Yeah.
Dr. Wallach, I got this. So that's in the flip chart called 90 for Life Crusade to Save Humanity and the World with Dr. Joel Wallach.
Okay.
Found on our website, or on his website rather, drjwallach.com. That is drjwallach.com. I am in the process of getting the PDF available and on the website also, so that it can be downloaded and utilized around the world without the shipping cost. Dr. Wallach is holding up now the educational brochure, where it also shows the flip chart on the very back page. So that educational brochure is something that is sent with each and every order. And I also want to make that available for as a PDF to download, so others can enjoy and utilize it.
Okay, thank you. That's very interesting. Tony listens to Dr. Wallach all the time. And I hear his voice, like I'm not usually on the Zoom, but I'll listen to his voice. Very interesting. You sound like a very young man. I mean, not that you're old, but
I sound like well, I am a young man.
Young man, you are. That's why I tell my husband, we're young. He said.
And not bad for 84.
Not bad. Incredible. And you're very knowledgeable. It was fascinating. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. God bless you. Look forward to
Yeah.
seeing you soon one day.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Very wonderful. And thank you, Tony, and your lovely bride for being here with us from England.
Canada.
Fantastic. Oh, Canada. You're in Canada, but from England.
Yeah, we've been here for 48 years.
Oh, goodness.
So it's a
Wow.
Canadian accent.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. And that just, I mean, Canada, I know I saw somebody on here from Dubai. We have South Africa, we have California, Texas, New Jersey, places I don't even know. We've got Nebraska, Oklahoma, Idaho, Northern California, Washington. Dr. Wallach, we're all over the place in getting this message out, and I love the fact we can do it.
Yeah, I have quite a bit of experience in South Africa.
World travel.
2 years of catching white rhino and saving the white rhino. So very proud of that one too.
And that is such a fun, cute little kind of adventure book, whether you're just young at heart or just like knowledge, like an adventure, or for kids, it would be a great gift for children for Easter that is coming up. If you give Easter gifts or celebrate that day, go to drjwallach.com and you can find the Rhino Express also. Well, Dr. Wallach, our time with you is up. We went over a little bit. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you for putting everything on.
Oh, you're absolutely wonderful. It's our pleasure, and it's because of you that we are able to be here today. And if I could just get my co-hosts up on the screen with me, that would be absolutely fantastic, because I could not do this without them and all of their hard work. And looks like somebody was putting Phyllis up and she took herself down, or vice versa. But Doc, this is just a small handful of people that have found the truth and the benefits in what your research and what you have put in your books and what you share on the air, whether it's radio, TV, podcasts, all these different apps that you can get and download. It's just incredible what we can do to help spread your message, Dr. Wallach.
Watch Daily with Doc tomorrow, starting at noon Pacific time. Yep. It's going to be a big one. It's a big one.
So we're going to have that being broadcasted also. And thank you, AJ, Marilyn, Phyllis, Sherry, Albert, for all the time that you put into helping others. Because that's what it's all about, folks. As we're helping others and being able to find that purpose, that gratitude in being able to help others, it's pretty incredible. Did I miss somebody? Phyllis? Oh my goodness, my sweet Phyllis. I missed your name. I'm so sorry. But yeah, and I just want to do a quick little shout out, because Marilyn has helped enough people to make a star rank within longevity. So congratulations as of this month, last night, Marilyn, for your hard work being paid off. So thank you. And AJ's right there behind her, and then Sherry. It's absolutely fantastic. So until next time, folks, make sure that you get back with a person that shared this program with you. If you are here because of an email that you received based on our subscribers, then you can reply back to that email and let us know how we can best serve you. If you are not working with anybody and you have never spoken to anybody before, our team has gone through the Certified Holistic Health Coach course that teaches Dr. Wallach's approach to using nutrition to give the body what it needs. so that the body can do what it was designed to do. We have a call team at 855-949-3377, 855-949-3377, or feel free to go to our website, use that contact option, and you can reach out to myself through email through the website. Again, that's dailywithdoc.com, contact. We will see you next time on Daily with Doc. My name is Becca Dukes, and it is my honor and privilege to be able to be here helping you find the information to help yourself find that better health journey. And bye for now.